After an epidemic of jail deaths, the CA sheriff is running for governor. A sheriff who is a leading candidate for governor of California hid the causes of a mounting epidemic of jail deaths behind a culture of cover-up and retaliation, a former captain in the department said in her first interview since she filed a lawsuit outlining her claims. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco ordered Captain Victoria Flores not to answer questions from a civil grand jury investigating jail conditions, Flores alleges. Another of her bosses told her not to leave a paper trail about a detainee's overdose. And the department didn't discipline deputies who were captured on video knocking a man unconscious. Those are just some of the claims Flores, a 30-year veteran of the department, made in a July lawsuit and in an exclusive interview with the Desert Sun, a member of the USA Today network. Her allegations support previous reporting by the Desert Sun and the New York Times that Bianco's cost-cutting left the jails understaffed with inexperienced guards as they became among the deadliest large jails in the nation. And they come as Bianco steps onto a wider political stage with a run for governor in the nation's most populous state. The inmates in the county's detention facilities were being abused, Flores said, and the abuse was covered up without proper discipline. Flores charges in her lawsuit that Bianco fired her in 2024 in retaliation for conflicts she had with the sheriff's administration, including her unwillingness to remain quiet over staff and policy failures related to the deaths. Bianco has repeatedly said that there have been no allegations of misconduct related to deaths in the county's 5 jails and that any controversy is manufactured by his political enemies. But the surge in deaths triggered an ongoing civil rights investigation of his office by the California Department of Justice. More than a dozen families have sued the sheriff over wrongful deaths in the jail. Several have resolved in settlements totaling more than $13 million, and the rest remain pending. In an interview, Flores specifically cited the death of Alicia Upton, a 21-year-old woman facing a misdemeanor charge, who died by suicide as surveillance video recorded that jail staff ignored her attempts to contact them in 2022. Upton was one of 19 inmates to die that year. 2 years after her daughter's death, Upton's mother learned from a reporter the basic details of her final moments. The department hasn't released more than a summary report to the public or the family. Flores said she can't provide more details now because she could be called to testify in the lawsuit Upton's family filed against Bianco, the county, and Flores, who was captain at the jail when Upton died. The lack of information given to the family about Alicia Upton's death is one of the reasons why I came forward, Flores said. All these families deserve respect. Bianco's callousness is appalling. There's absolutely no personal responsibility. You can't continue to blame families because they want answers. The department's attorneys have disputed the claims made by Nicole Thompson, Upton's mother, in the civil suit, and the case remains unresolved. The department and the county did not respond to requests for comment on Flores' suit. Her suit was filed publicly but later sealed by a judge. It is unclear whether the county filed an official response to the lawsuit after it was sealed. Bianco has served 7 years as sheriff of Riverside County, which is home to more than 2.4 million people and sprawls from the eastern suburbs of Los Angeles to the Arizona border in an area nearly the size of New Jersey. He manages 5 jails and a staff of 1,700 sworn deputies and 2,400 civilians. Bianco promoted Flores in 2021 to lead the Central Jail, the Robert Presley Detention Center in downtown Riverside. She had spent more than 2 decades working in the jails, often directly with detainees, and on assignments developing the department's jail policies. She advised on new protections against rape and policies for managing state sentencing reforms that ballooned the jail's population. The county's 5 jails house an average of 3,500 people and routinely release some to address jail overcrowding. But she told the Desert Sun the jails changed rapidly after Bianco took office, with a revolving door of staff changes, including firing leaders from the former sheriff's administration. Bianco also established a culture of retaliation against anyone who questioned his leadership, she said in her lawsuit. We generally had the right practices and procedures, Flores said. If we followed them, we didn't have anything to worry about. But what I started seeing was too much change, too fast.